in the heart of 19th century Louisiana, where cypress trees lean like old secrets over swamp water and the air hums with heat. The story was whispered long after the screams stopped. The story not written in church books or town records, but marrow of those who lived to taste it. It's about two sisters, polite, graceful, generous, who served kindness by the pound and something else by the slab. This is the story of Ole and Mabel Thibodeau, the Cannibal Sisters of Louisiana. As our title warns, Cannibal Sisters of Louisiana, a shocking true story you won't believe. Before we descend deeper into this smokehouse of horrors, make sure you're subscribed to Ancestor of Fear, where true terror is found not in fiction, but in what people chose to ignore. Hit that bell, because some stories were buried for a reason. On a suffocating summer morning, the sun was emerging from the inclined cypresses, launching golden reflexes on the black waters of the swamp. In Cypress Hollow, a small clearing where life was shaped by the relentless nature, full of 27 houses around a wooden church and a post that served as a barber shop and post office. The story of the Thibodeau sisters was echoing even before the screams ceased. A whispered story is not in the city records or on the pages of the churches, but in the bowels of those who survived to tell it. Inside their cottage, the sisters lived in a world of contrasts. Ulay's room exuded elegance and refinement, with delicate lace shorten fluttering in the breeze, the grand piano sitting majestically in the corner, and a parlor adorned with an antique grandfather clock that ticked away the moments. It was a room that spoke of grace and sophistication. On the other hand, Mabel's quarters were a stark departure from her sister's domain. Her room was simple, almost bare, with barely enough furniture to fill the space. Narrow bed covered in a faded patchwork quilt sat against one wall, while a rickety wardrobe stood in another corner, its door slightly ajar, revealing a few well-worn dresses hanging inside. Reduction the differences in their living spaces. Both rooms held an air of mystery. The secrets were woven into the very fabric of their existence. The town of Cypress Hollow was a place where time seemed to slow down, each day unfolding like a delicate tapestry, woven with threads of tradition and mystery. Life revolved around the rhythms of nature, with the cypress trees whispering ancient secrets and the black swamp water holding echoes of forgotten stories. In this tranquil setting, the Thibodeau sisters stood out like ethereal figures, their presence of the blend of grace and enigma that captivated the townspeople. Ulele, with her sharp-eyed gaze and elegant demeanor, moved through the village like a phantom of kindness. Mabel, always seen with a ribbon in her hair and blood beneath her fingernails, existed in a world of silent industry. Together, they formed a duet of generosity and intrigue that kept Cypress Hollow fed while shrouded in an air of quiet enigma. The smoke from their chimney carried not just the scent of seasoned pork and hickory, but an aura of mystery and unspoken stories that languid in the air long after the meals were finished. The townspeople accepted their gifts without question, content to savor the flavors without delving into the origins, for it has a way of blinding gratitude and turning a blind eye to unsettling truths. Inside their cottage, the sisters lived a life filled with contradictions. Ulay's room exuded elegance and refinement, with delicate lace shorten fluttering in the breeze, the grand piano sitting majestically in the corner, and a parlor adorned with an antique grandfather clock that ticked away the moments. It was a room that spoke of grace and sophistication. On the other hand, Mabel's quarters were a stark departure from her sister's domain. Her room exuded a sense of melancholy and mystery, with shadows playing hide and seek in the corners, an old rock chair creaking softly as if whispering ancient secrets, and a mirror that seemed to reflect more than just images. Reduction, their differences in living quarters. Both spaces held an air of intrigue that lingered long after visitors had left. Evening fell over Cypress Hollow. One could often catch glimpses of flickery light through the lace-curtained windows of the Thibodeau cottage, casting dancing shadows on the wooden floors and hinting at stories untold. The weeks slowly passed on Cypress Hollow, each day bringing a sense of desolation and mystery. As the sun seemed to shine less intensely over the small clearing, the shadows stretched like ghostly fingers that stretched down the dirt floor. Life in the village was marked by a regretful silence that echoed through the woods and nestled in the narrow alleys. The wheels of tradition spinned more difficult, ranged as if they carried the weight of old and unlucky secrets. The aroma of smoking of the smoke rigs hovered in the air as a constant reminder of a disturbing truth hidden under the surface. And even when a new day was born on Cypress Hollow, bringing with it the promise of renewal, the veil of mystery seemed increasingly dense and impenetrable. Summer advanced slowly on Cypress Hollow, bringing with it a suffocating heat that settled in the shaded corners of the small clearing. Life in the village seemed to slow down, along with the rhythm of nature, and silence became a constant companion, permeating the days with a feeling of sorry stillness. The sun seemed not to shine with the same intensity over the houses, while the shadows lengthened lazily like night blankets thrown on the earth. The continuous wheel of tradition gave way to the most pronounced ranger of the gears of mystery and the ancient secrets that permeated the stagnant air. The aroma of smoke from the ruins of the ancient smoky smoke hung discomfort in the air as a perpetual reminder of the uncomfortable truth hidden under the surface. Each new day was born as an empty promise, for the veil of mystery always seemed more impenetrable and dense. The weeks seemed to drag on Cypress Hollow, each day bringing a sense of even deeper desolation and mystery. The sun now thrown its lightning over the small clearing, as it was reluctant to illuminate the secrets buried on earth. Life in the village was marked not only by the heavy silence, but also by a growing sense of restlessness that hovered in the air, involving residents in their mysterious web. The shadows, once allies of stillness, now assumed ghostly contours that moved independent of the bodies that projected them, echoing an atmosphere of suspense and uncertainty. Each new dawn brought with it the implicit promise of uncomfortable revelations, while the enigma veil seemed to grow densely on Cypress Hollow. In the almost palpable silence of Cypress Hollow, the old secrets seemed to echo through the deserted streets as the summer heat mixed with the atmosphere loaded with mystery involving the village. It was as if nature itself maintained a secret kept under the dry earth, and the cypresses who leaned as ancient witnesses of unlisted history. The sound of the birds seemed to decrease, as if whispering forbidden stories that should never see the light of day. Each shadow lengthening through the dirt paths had an air of ghostly presence, evoking forgotten memories and arousing a feeling of latent restlessness in the hearts of the inhabitants. The sun bathed Cypress Hollow with its golden rays, painting the homes' facades with hot tones and throwing long shadows through the dirt streets. The summer heat hung heavily over the sleeping village. Silence had become almost palpable, involving every corner and alley with an oppressive stillness. The trees whispered old secrets, their leaves swinging in a mystical dance under the soft breeze. The air was impregnated with the sweet aroma of the wild flowers and the distant sound of the stream that was servant around the clearing. It was as if the place itself was wrapped in a veil of enchantment, where each sound seemed amplified by the calm that hovered over the small community. The feeling of being bewitched by the past was undeniable, and even the most skeptical of the residents could not deny the inexplicable magic that permeated Cypress Hollow. The sun bathed Cypress Hollow with a cozy golden light, painting the cypress trees of hot tones and throwing magical sparkles over the black swamp. The summer's heat surrounded the village in a soft hug, making the air vibrate with a feeling of peace and tranquility. The sounds of nature seemed clearer, from the corner of the birds to the whisper of the leaves to the wind. Each house seemed to keep old secrets on its worn wood walls, while the dirt streets told silent stories from past times. It was as if Cypress Hollow pulsed with a life of his own, a life marked by unresolved mysteries and hidden truths. In this single scenario, every detail kept a special charm, inviting residents to discover the secrets that village had been keeping for centuries. Fosse non definiu un texto para a narração. Had content power no. If this story stirred something deep within you, if it awakened a truth you hadn't better, I invite you comment 777 below. Let you know you're awake watching. Your voice matters here. Thaluveya for support channel through like, share, subscriptions. Heartfelt thank, give through super thanks. Your generosity helps keep sharing urgent truths world. Don't forget like video, subscribe channel. Someone might need this story today. Let them know. You have a beautiful home.